Hi everyone. So, in case any of you have not noticed, the last upload was not exactly the most professional thing I've released. I'm not exactly proud of it, but I'm also not really ashamed of it. The reason I uploaded that unedited, almost full hour recording of the last Bloodborne session was for a reason. If you actually watch through, you see the kind of stuff that completely sent me over the edge. And by the last few seconds, you could tell that I was more than defeated. I was just outright done. And at that moment, I truly didn't know if I even wanted to touch the game again. So the fact was I had no desire to actually work on editing the episode to be my typical quote unquote professional standard. I had zero desire. I didn't even want to think about the game. That's how bitter I was left. So I thought to myself, instead of risking just completely losing all desire to continue, I'll just put out the bare minimum and hope that the end result speaks for itself and gives people a clue on not only my mental state at the time, but how I felt about the commitment to the Bloodborne episodes from there on out. I guess the elephant in the room is, and before I talk about other stuff, yes, I will eventually get around to finishing Bloodborne. But I made a concession with myself and knew that I am absolutely not going to even touch that stupid last chalice dungeon again. Screw that. I see absolutely zero benefit to trying to continue that crap again. I don't care if I miss out on a few more unique enemies afterwards, I really don't. If I truly want to see them, I'll just play it on my own, in private, and then I'll finally absorb the content that way. But the next time I finally feel like recording an episode, I'm finally going straight to the DLC. No more delays. Right to the DLC. And I will do the necessary amount of episodes, but I'm definitely not going to let it drag on. I'm thinking maybe I will try to minimize it to maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I do know the bosses that are left in the DLC, so I am thinking of segmenting my experience through each area and each boss for one episode. Meaning that I don't care if I can't finish one area and defeat one of those bosses in an hour recording. If I don't, then I'm just going to do another recording session and include that and edit those multiple sessions down into one episode. Whereas before, I was happy with just doing hour per hour per hour and just cutting it down. No, now I will absolutely guarantee that there will only be maybe 4 more episodes. And each episode will have one area and 1 or 2 bosses, depending on which ones are close to each other. So that will be my plan to finish off Bloodborne once and for all. And after that, I am truly unsure about what the future of the channel will be. That is a big one. The reason why it is such a serious decision to consider is because, as some of you know, I genuinely want the channel to not just continue, but to actually grow into something successful. And the obvious problem is that, I guess for the viewer, it technically shouldn't matter, but for me, the content creator, these episodes, this entire series of Bloodborne has not been very successful. The first few episodes did have a fair amount of views, a couple hundred views. And I was somewhat proud of that, but that was in no way intentional. I just got lucky. But as you can see, for the past dozen or so episodes, they have gotten almost nothing, or just barely a couple hundred. Now, let me assure you, the actual number of views and the number of subscribers wouldn't mean anything to me if I knew I had several dedicated viewers, like at least more than 10 or something like that. If I had a good amount of comments per episode, I would be perfectly happy. But clearly the fact that most episodes have like 1, 3, or sometimes 0 comments is what truly, really discourages me, because I mean, it's obvious that the episodes aren't really resonating with viewers enough to the point where they want to leave a comment. And see, this is the part that most viewers don't really comprehend or are aware of when it comes to, doing the YouTube game, is that if you do video after video for a long period of time and it's just not working out, or you don't see any growth, then it's really hard to justify continuing, or at the very least continuing to do what you are doing, as far as content. And I would learn and absorb a lot of like those so-called, YouTube guru lessons, the things that tells you how to grow your channel. And one very, 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 very grim reality is that the episodic format is actually very, very, very terrible for a channel's growth. It is almost completely against a channel's ability to grow. One of the reasons is because the fact is, if you have, these numbered episodes like I started doing, then new viewers aren't going to even want to click on those, because why would they want to jump into a video that's like the middle of or the end of a so-called series? The most successful videos on YouTube and the most successful channels in general are the ones that have, digestible, oh my god, I can't pronounce it. Digestible individual videos that can be watched by literally anyone, even if they just barely stumbled onto your channel. So the sad reality is, if I already had a large or even just a small dedicated audience, I would have no issue with just uploading the same series of episodes that they would keep, being satisfied with and want to keep seeing. But the fact that I still have like almost no real like amount of returning viewers, active subscribers who watch the videos that I put out, means that I really have to change it up if I want any modicum of chance to finally succeed on YouTube after all these years of just trying whatever it is that I was passionate for at the time. I really have to just finally bite the bullet and just do whatever it is that will hopefully, let my videos actually succeed in the algorithm. That's just how it is. Like, you're competing with hundreds of thousands of other content creators. Sometimes even that large amount just in your specific niche, your specific subject area. Like, you think like how do you think I'm gonna compete with all the other content creators that focus around any of the From Software games? I mean, I'm clearly one of the least interesting or entertaining channels. I don't mind admitting that. And so honestly, after the Bloodborne series is done, I definitely have to think about what it is I want to do afterwards. I definitely have some ideas, but what really worries me most about those ideas I have is that unfortunately they are not the I'm not going to say low effort, but they aren't the reliable weekly uploads that I have been doing with Bloodborne. They are the kinds of actual, videos that require effort in the form of multiple recording sessions, multiple hours of recording and editing and scripting to make one excellent video, seemingly excellent video, that not only my subscribers, but people who stumble upon my channel or see my videos in the algorithm will actually want to watch. The problem with that is that, guess what? I've done that in the past. I had videos on my channel that took dozens to over 100 hours of straight work just to finally produce and put out. And guess what? When those videos end up completely flopping and getting barely over 100 views and almost no comments, how do you think that feels? What kind of message does that send? It tells you that, wow, actually putting effort into a well-made, excellent video when you're a completely brand new channel, that when you're a nobody, is a complete futile endeavor. Because what's the point of putting all that time if your video is just gonna get your channel almost nothing? Now, some people will argue that, well, come on, you just gotta bite the bullet and continue putting out content. But if it took you several weeks, maybe a month or two to create one good video, and then after that you take another long time just to make the next video, do you really think your channel is going to actually bring in, dedicated viewers? The chances are absolutely not. The few people who enjoy your first video, I mean, they're probably not going to subscribe. They just want to see, if you put out more content more regularly. And even if they do subscribe, there's no guarantee that they're going to care about the next video you put out. And more importantly, even after 4, maybe 7 well-made videos, do you really think that the algorithm is just going to finally say, oh, this person is definitely worth putting, distributing their videos out to the potential viewers for? No. It could still result in your channel having barely any views per video. And I'm not thinking about the number of subscribers at all. I'm only thinking about how many views per video and how many comments, watch time, click-through rate, all that. Like, so many goddamn stats that you have to focus on. So what the hell else could I do if clearly the episodic format that I've been doing is not doing anything for my channel, but now I want to do like some more universally appealing videos that anybody could watch without having to watch the whole series beforehand, but it takes me several weeks to put out just one video? Is that even going to work? So I truly am stuck in a weird, like, situation where it's just like, I don't know what else I could possibly do that can finally not only actually get my channel to succeed, but more importantly, can I even manage to do it? Like, I mean, again, I may sound like I'm being harsh on myself, but I genuinely am not that talented at making videos for YouTube. Like, I'm a pretty amateur editor. I mean, my voiceover is decent enough, but as far as actual editing the videos, and first of all, the creative direction of videos, like, do I have any entertaining edits, any sort of jokes, any weird memes? Like, I don't really have that sort of mindset. Like, I just have an idea that I present and that's it. I don't have this overly fancy and overly reduced mindset where I have to put in like hundreds of edits and put in all these ridiculous effects on my videos, and like where you're pushing the limits of your video editing skills. Screw that. If it takes like, Herculean efforts just to make one video with all the edits, I don't see it worth it, because it means every video becomes a weeks long, almost maybe a month or 2 long project, which is just unfeasible. Like, trust me, I've done that in the past. I could not do it. Getting just a little bit of progress done per day is just ridiculously demotivating for me. Like, maybe it reflects badly on me, but no, I need to see some results and some effort being reflected back at me through audience interaction on a weekly basis. Maybe not a daily basis, but definitely a weekly basis. So if it takes me like over a month to do a video, I'm most likely never going to want to do it, because not only is it just demoralizing for me to, to motivate myself to work on it every day after work or on the weekends, but then there's zero guarantee that it will reward my channel with any amount of like metrics. So it really is an absolutely crummy and soul crushing proposition for you, but there's clearly nothing else I'd rather do. So I'm going to think long and hard about the kinds of videos I want to put out after I finish my Bloodborne playthrough. But I will do my hardest to try to make it, try to make those videos that are not only, that are only entertaining for the people who already watch me, but can also bring new viewers in, and more importantly, helps me sustain and retain an dedicated audience for the foreseeable future. So I am going to just keep that in mind. That's what I'm going to have to consider when I try to put out videos for the next month. So for those of you who managed to stick around and actually find my weird approach to these videos entertaining, I'm truly grateful for the bottom of my heart. I do not even take one or two returning viewers and their comments for granted. Trust me, I read every single one of them. But, after a while, I also have to consider, whether the channel's success, even reflects, you know, whether my efforts are actually being, you know, either rewarded or acknowledged. I'm gonna start out small. So after the final Bloodborne episodes, I'm gonna see if the next videos that I put out are actually something that I can continue doing for my channel for a long time, and whether they are videos that actually bring in and retain an audience. So just keep that in mind, because otherwise I will have no reason to keep the channel and just walk away and seek out something else in life. Sorry if that's way too heavy of a subject, but that's what dictates the activity on the channel. So if you manage to listen this long and are still eager to see what I upload next, thank you once again. You will definitely see me upload sometime soon. So be ready to see that. Thank you very much, and goodbye.